I will hurt you for this.
I am the sword in the darkness.
Lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
Let me give you some advice, bastard.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
We fight for our queen!
The realm will soon tear itself apart. If men do not remember the oath sworn to King Viserys and to his rightful heir.
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to the channel. It looks like House of the Dragon Season 2 is set to break the internet as they release not one, but two all-new trailers for the upcoming season, which we will be doing full breakdowns on both. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about one of my most anticipated parts of the upcoming season, the return of House Stark, and the introduction of Cregan, the Wolf of the North. Fans have long awaited the return of House Stark on screen, and thankfully in Season 2, it looks like we will not only be traveling to Winterfell, but Jace and Cregan will also be traveling up to the Wall to meet the Night's Watch as well. And here we get a very interesting scene between Cregan Stark and Jace walking atop the wall at the Night's Watch, where it looks like Cregan is carrying on his back Ice, the Valyrian steel ancestral longsword of House Stark, a sword that fans will undoubtedly recognize from the very first episode of Game of Thrones, where Ned Stark beheads the Night's Watchman. The same sword that we see get melted down in later seasons by Tywin Lannister to create two new Valyrian steel swords. And right off the bat, I absolutely love the imagery of Cregan carrying around this massive sword on his back like it's just another longsword. And I'm really looking forward to the scenes that we're going to be getting between Jace and Cregan up north, as we know very little about what actually happened when Jace visited Winterfell. We know that the two spend a good amount of time hunting and training together, and they go on to become very close friends as Jace reminds Cregan of a younger brother that he had recently lost, and how the meeting ultimately leads to the agreement known as the Pact of Ice and Fire, an agreement where House Stark pledges to fight for Rhaenyra during the Dance of the Dragons, in exchange for a marriage proposal between Jace and Cregan's respective children after the war. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of factual information about Jace's visit. Of course, we get a few rumors and conjectures about Jace potentially marrying Cregan Stark's bastard younger sister, Sarah Snow, but that sounds a little bit more like a mushroom exaggeration more than anything, especially considering we're not 100% sure if Sarah Snow is even real or not. And I'm also looking forward to seeing what the show ends up doing with the prophecy of Ice and Fire that is unique to the House of the Dragon TV series, and if it plays any part in the Pact of Ice and Fire between Jace and Cregan. In Season 1, we learn of the true purpose of Aegon the Conqueror invading Westeros and forging the Seven Kingdoms into one, and how it was not solely done just to conquer, but that Aegon had a prophetic vision of the doom of man coming from the north of Westeros, in the form of a terrible winter without end, which of course is heavily foreshadowing the coming of the others. And with Cregan and House Stark being the first line of defense against the others when they finally come, it would make a little bit of sense that Jace and Rhaenyra would maybe want to fill Cregan in on the prophecy. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're doing at the Night's Watch in particular. In Fire and Blood, there is no mention of Cregan and Jace visiting the Wall during his trip, so I'm really interested to see what they are going to be doing up north at the Wall. And could they potentially even be traveling north of the Wall for some reason? And it will also be pretty interesting to see how Jace's dragon, Vermax, reacts to being that far north as well, as dragons notoriously do not fare well in the cold, especially up at the Wall. Many years before the Dance of the Dragons takes place, we do get one other account of a Targaryen dragon rider visiting the Night's Watch, when Queen Alysanne and her dragon Silverwing attempt to fly north of the Wall 3 separate times, each time with the dragon refusing to honor her commands. An event that deeply troubled Alysanne for years to come. And of course, fans have speculated as to many reasons why the dragon did not fly north, with everything from dragons not faring well in the cold, to the magic within the wall itself stopping the dragon from passing, to the dragon potentially sensing the threat of the others beyond the wall. all of which are solid theories, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see how Vermax reacts to the wall, especially considering Vermax is much younger than Silverwing. But overall, I am really looking forward to seeing the return of House Stark in Season 2, and what part Cregan is going to play in the long run. But that is going to do it for this quick breakdown on the return of House Stark, and we will be doing far more in-depth breakdowns on both of the trailers, so if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit a like on your way out, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our upcoming content. And as always, I want to give a big thank you to everybody out there for watching, and a huge thank you to all of the channel members, and we will see you on the next one.
Feel what I've begun.